The transfer portal wide open, ready for business. We've said this the last couple of years. Lane Kiffin just came out and said, why is the transfer portal open right now during bowl season? Well, we're getting towards the end of semesters for most universities. I'm guessing they were trying to tie it into that. This is what's happening, just to let you know with bowl season. There are players negotiating to either stay or they're going to go to another school. And my source said last night, do you know there's going to be 2 players? Now, he told me last year 3 players, marquee players, were playing, getting ready to play in bowl games, but negotiating with another school. And the school said, we don't want you to play in the bowl games. So he said there's 2 players that are, he said not prominent because he said, I don't know if your audience will know them, but we know them. They're negotiating with another school right now. And the schools are saying you can't play in the bowl game. So you put these kids in this situation where, would I play in a bowl game if I'm going to another university? No, I would not. If I thought I had pro potential or I was going to get paid when I go to another school, I wouldn't. Like, you do everything for the regular season. That's what you're supposed to do. The fans suffer. That's what this is about. But I don't know if you're tuning into bowl games now necessarily to see players as much as like the Pop-Tart Bowl. Who remembers who was in the Pop-Tart Bowl last year? How about the Mayo Bowl? Who was in that? The Bahamas Bowl. It's just, it takes up 3 hours. ESPN needs the programming. And go back to Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey. They didn't play. Oh, my God, you got to play. They're business people. Why is it business for everybody else, but it can't be for the kids? And that's how they're viewing this. You're going to have players who are going to opt out of the bowl game because they're going to transfer. Now, Deion said Travis Hunter and his son Shedeur are going to play in the bowl game. That'd be a great conversation if Shedeur said, hey, Dad, I don't want to play. I want to be healthy when I go to the Raiders. I'd love to hear Prime and his son talking. So obviously he's going to play. Travis Hunter says he's going to play as well. But it's bowl season. It's transfer portal season. And it's unfortunate because it shouldn't be happening right now. We brought it up last year. I don't know if there was any movement inside to go, hey, guys, why are we doing it at this point of the season? Now you have more teams playing in the playoffs. So that means more kids have more decisions to make of, do I want to play in the bowl season? How much do I want to play? Because you could be playing 4 more games depending on your success. And I think that's unfortunate because the bowl games, I know this is really big to a lot of cities and some small cities that are hosting a bowl game. It's important to them. The local economy, all of that. And I know we make fun of the pool and weed eater and some of those, but they are important. The Outback Bowl, it is important to these cities. But I don't tune in going anymore where I go, got to see that guy because that guy may not want to play or that guy may be ready to transfer. And I think you're going to see more and more of that. And you have the transfer portal at this time. Unless they change that, I think you're going to have more of this. Who's playing? You're actually tuning in for the school, maybe a coach, maybe a quarterback, but there's already guys who are dropping out. Yeah, Paul.
I think what bothers college football fans, and I could speak as a college football fan, is that, yeah, you're getting paid. I don't think most people have problems with athletes getting paid in college. I think the problem is, why don't they have to honor contracts and finish out contracts? If these are contracts, these NIL deals, like if you're a player for the Cincinnati Bengals and you don't make the playoffs, so you're ineligible, let's say you don't make it, you can't just leave the team in week 16. You have a contract to finish out the season. Why can a player for Ole Miss leave now and not finish out the season? There should be a similar thing with your NIL deal, that you finish out your season with NIL, which is approved by NCAA. All NIL deals are approved by NCAA. You finish a season, and then you enter the portal and do whatever you want and go to the next team.
Yes,
I'm not saying that I agree with this necessarily, but it's possible that in the contract, they did finish the season. Now there's this extra game that they're supposed to play.
Correct.
Here's the problem I have with it, though. Let's say you sign an NIL deal. What constitutes your season? You may be playing in 4 more games. Four more than other people are playing in. Hey, you're going to play in the playoffs. Well, do these kids, how much do they care about that? I got to play 4 more, but I'm not getting paid more?
But I would negotiate that as escalators in your NIL deal. If you make the playoffs, you get bonus money. They want to make the playoffs.
Well, this is for the schools. Like, all of this is the wild, wild west. It just feels like nobody's thought of anything until they think of something, and they're like, oh, my God, this is crazy. The transfer portal's open? Wait, kids don't want to play in the bowl game? Yes. So they almost have to go through this to go, okay. And we went through this last year with the transfer portal. What happened? Nothing this year. Nothing. Here's Lane Kiffin bringing it up, and I'm going, yes, this happened last year. It'll continue to happen, Lane. Yes, Eden.
I think that obviously it's going to take a few years for all of this to shake out, because every year you identify new issues, whether it's with the transfer portal, NIL, now the playoff system.
Yeah.
But if you're going to put that into people's contracts or whatever, you think a kid at Indiana was like, I need a playoff bonus. Really? Really, Charlie? You probably don't think you're going there. I don't know. Maybe Boise State, maybe SMU. You really think a kid's holding out for like another $100,000 because, well, what if we make it to the playoff? Probably not.
But you have players who are negotiating staying. South Carolina, one of their better defensive players, an edge rusher, re-signed to stay at South Carolina.
Great.
No,
Great.
But that's what is going on now.
That's what we want, right? Players to stay longer.
Yes.
Yes, great.
But
it's working.
They're negotiating. You could have somebody at one of these bowl-eligible schools or playing in the playoffs going, I don't know if I'm going to stay. Or I want to be paid. I want to be paid more for the playoffs.
Great.
It's just, it's a mess with this. Of trying to do, can you put clauses in these contracts that say, hey, if we make it to the 12-team playoff, you get paid commensurate to how far we go.
Great.
Yeah, but college football is in the dark ages still with this. They're not advanced with this. That's why it's a mess with. Lane Kiffin has been coaching for decades, and he didn't see that this was an issue. You bring up the transfer portal now, or kids are going to play in possibly 3 or 4 more games? And look, I know Lane didn't create the rules, but he knew the rule was in place. Why are we waiting until now? What's going to happen now? And then when the bowl season ends, does Lane Kiffin go, hey, guys, I brought this up in December. I want to make sure that we address this. Hey, I brought this up in January. Hey, I brought this up in March. This is when you do this. Stay with it. You want to correct it? Great. Then we don't have a transfer portal issue. Yes, Eden.
I think those 3 things are massive changes in college football. So I think it's fair to understand that not everybody saw the challenges that were going to come through, right? NIL is a massive change. The transfer portal is a huge change. The college football playoff is a massive change, having 12 teams. So I don't know that you can, when NIL was first announced, almost universally the reaction was like, oh, great, so now Clemson and Alabama are going to win every year. And we just completely destroyed college football. And really, it had the exact opposite effect. It leveled the playing field more than you could possibly imagine, where Alabama's not even in the 12-team, and Clemson kind of backed their way in. They got lucky to be in. So,
well, okay, I'll go back to when this started. A Hall of Fame caliber coach questioned why we would pay offensive linemen. What are you going to give them? Free pizza, was what I was told. And I go, you are crazy. You build with your offensive and defensive line. There's a Hall of Fame caliber coach who said this to me. So they weren't even aware back then. And once
let me just look at the NFL and see if offensive linemen make any money. And then now you're going to know, well, this is what their value is. So,
but that's where we're here in the transfer portal, and guys are sitting out. Christian McCaffrey sat out. So did Leonard Fournette. And that wasn't even transfer portal. That was just these guys preserving themselves. And at running back, I can't blame you. So it's tricky. Do we have contracts? What do you put in with the playoff, with a bowl bonus? I don't know. But that's what I would be at least aware of. and the transfer portal this late in the year. Yes, Marv.
That's like when Jake Butt at Michigan got hurt.
Yeah.
And you're like, see, that's why first-round draft picks don't play in these quote-unquote meaningless bowl games. If you're not playing a national championship, I don't need to play in this bowl game. Let me get ready for the NFL.
Yeah, if you're at Alabama and you're going into the NFL first round, are you going to play against Michigan in a bowl game? I don't know. I know it's up to the individual, but I can only imagine if I'm a first-round draft pick, you're rolling the dice every time you play. And now you're going to ask these kids to play 2, 3, maybe 4 more games. I know you're playing for a national championship. This is about business. It's business all around. And it's going to be business for the kids as well. And it should be.